Hello, so I am Mia. I've been reluctant to make videos and scared of making videos because of my voice, but I'm being brave, and this is our response to the McLean video. So first of all, I just want to talk about the absolute hypocrisy. The way that he says this.
And I want to be clear at the outset that I cannot, from afar, verify or deny who does or does not have DID, and I'll be showing examples of online content for illustrative purposes only. I don't claim to know anything about the individuals portrayed beyond what they share freely and publicly online.
And then later on in his terrible presentation, he says this.
So it's possible that some social media influencers like the may be malingering or have factitious disorders.
Now, we just want to say to people, please don't stop being yourselves. This, having DID, we are diagnosed. Not that we think that is relevant. We think that we should actually be trusting people when they say this is my experience. It is hell on earth. And the only way that we've survived it is by laughing a lot of the time. Now, we're a writer, or we're trying to be. Not doing so well at the moment. But we've written a lot since we started working out our DID and working through this. And just to demonstrate what this is like, this is 250 pages of depression and I wish I was dead. It's all the poetry that I wrote last year while we were healing. This is Bawoo's book, who, oh, wait, I think I'm hearing from Bawoo. Bawoo?
Hi Mia.
Bawoo?
I just wanted to say, everyone is valid. Don't listen to the stupid old white men. This isn't easy. Alright, back to you, Mia.
We don't have more than one body, by the way. We're not stupid. But anyway, this is Bawoo's book. And it's called Parts and Farts, because while we were healing last year, when we wished we were dead for months and months and months, oh, by the way, I got dressed up for this to demonstrate how we can actually get changed. We can put clothes on, we can do things. We're traumatized, not stupid. Bawoo's book, anyway, is all, she titled it Nonsense Poetry About Farting, Healing, Nature and Dog Love. Like, the only way that we could get through to hell of wishing we were dead all the time was by laughing about it a lot of the time. We said it out loud so many times, and if it wasn't for Jason, who is here with me now, the husband paying the rent, and having people to listen to us when we hold space for those feelings. Wishing you're dead is hard work. It doesn't just go away, and you can't just stamp those feelings down and pretend that they're going to get better, because they're not. You got to feel them. Oh, speaking of which, let's look at some of his things that he says that DID is all about. Sorry, this is going to be a terrible video, but I don't really care. I'm going to try. Whatever. Oh, wait, what? Bawoo, what was your, where's your Woo's wisdom? Think your way to positive thinking by thinking positively. Never be disappointed by never having hopes. Change your thoughts and you'll never be sad again. She wrote a lot of nonsense positivity that was hilarious and kept us alive at the time. Anyway, so what is this man gonna say? Let's see.
It's possible that social media is revealing new ways for individuals with genuine DID to express themselves. However, it's also very possible that the social media and internet trends are contributing to increased DID claims that are not genuine. Unfortunately, there's also significant online harassment that occurs with these social media influencers. And this harassment is obviously harmful to the person who's making the content, but it's also harmful to our patients with DID who might stumble upon someone accusing another person of making up their symptoms, which is a common fear that people with DID have, that they're making it up or it's not real. They're already conflicted and confused, and this just adds to that feeling that they experience. It makes the feelings of shame they have even worse.
He's literally said, like, this is what's wrong. Fake claiming is bad. It leads to harassment. It leads to bad stuff happening for people. And then he's done it himself. Please, the systems that he's picked out, they... Oh, and the thing about merch as well, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, if you can find a way to make money when you've got DID, making money safely, not bloody prostitution or something, then do it. God knows I would. It'd be lovely to make some money.
The people I work with are reluctant, conflicted, confused, ashamed of what they experience and report.
The people I work with are reluctant, conflicted, confused and ashamed. Heal it! That doesn't have to be your life forever. These feelings can be healed. And this man has no idea what he's talking about, but which is ridiculous when he clearly does know what he's talking about, when all his facts about DID are, for the most part, pretty accurate in terms of our experience. He completely ignores all of the forms of plurality and disregards endogenic systems, which I think anyone who comes to DID, at first you get sucked into it, and the rhetoric is DID you have to have your trauma between ages before 69 and all of that. And everyone, or a lot of people, we assumed that was the only way you could be plural. And then we found out that actually there are a lot of ways, and this is something that's been recorded forever, and it's not something new, and it's not one model fits all for everyone. For us, the model, the structural theory of dissociation makes sense, it fits our experience. So yeah, we have DID. There's no reason to live with these feelings forever. We're never going to be stable. We're always going to be at risk of trauma affecting us, causing splits. We're never going to unify. Jason's now squeaking his squeaky toy, obviously. Because me and Amber are just far too different. Oh, and switching. People talking about switching. Like, I could get his... Right, so Caris is our protector. She was Isabel and Cara. Oh, shit, I'm talking about her. Right, so this is one way that I can get her. Isabel. She's a pest. Yeah, my way of getting Amber used to be going, mummy, 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 but I don't do that anymore. I can't remember what I was saying. See, I've just got Isabel now, then we did a little dissociating thing, and now I've forgotten what I was talking about. Just life. What was I talking about? Oh, I think I should get changed, demonstrate how I can do that. Drastic changes in appearance and dress. This took me 5 minutes. Put on a bit of lippy, did a different hairstyle, put on a pretty dress. It's not rocket science, and it helps. We have not played with makeup at all. We've not even worn makeup for years and years and years. Last 2 weeks before this bloody McLean nonsense started, oh my God, here we go with the squeaky toys again. Last 2 weeks, our Littles, a couple of weeks ago, Littles got really upset that the face was so old. I mean, it is super old. We have good wrinkles, bad skin. Someone's saying we don't have bad skin, but whatever. It's badder skin than if we were 20. We're 40, by the way. So Littles announced that our face was old and ugly. So we did some pondering, and they started playing with makeup, and we've done a few little sessions with makeup. It's been good fun. Dave enjoyed doing it, like taking photos with the face, like smiling. Who would have thought someone with DID could smile? And it's actually been really, really good and healing. And for the first time, like, our littles they now enjoy our face. It's not the best face, it's not the worst face, it's a face. So anyway.
Many people we treat for DID report feeling distraught and confused when they see social media and online content created by people identifying with the diagnosis. They can't imagine why anyone would promote their symptoms openly.
They can't imagine why anyone would promote their symptoms openly. What about raising awareness? What about countering all of the damn misinformation that is apparently coming from inside our community from the people who are theoretically treating us, believe us, and helping us?
The daily struggles and symptoms they desperately try to keep under wraps are being displayed in media content.
Symptoms under wraps. Desperately trying to keep them under wraps. Of course we are. They're horrible. It is hell on earth, and the only way to survive this is by healing, by embracing it all, by diving into it, by going into those feelings and by healing them. And by healing them, we then get better and we're able to do things, share our experiences, help other people.
Social media content, often in fun, playful, and engaging ways. This does not make sense to them, and it further confuses their already confused and conflicted sense of self and deepens their sense of shame. For patients, switching is often an intrusive symptom related to flashbacks or trauma-related memories and are quite distressing.
Switching can be horrible when it's caused by triggers. When you've been working with your system, once you've achieved some integration, switching stops even being switching. Like, Boo-woo, are you here? I've had... oh, it's Boo-woo, hello. Oh no, I'm in the yoga studio. No, oops. All right, so that was Boo-woo. Now, did you see the switch? No, because we're all just here in the face, because we've done some integrating, and we can all be here, and we can argue. We argue at people because we don't even know what each other are thinking sometimes or feeling, and talking it out loud can help. So just shut up with your damn switching. Like, who else wants to come out? That was a cheeky small. I think it was Astrid. Oh, maybe Jane too. Interesting. Is there anyone else that... Oh, we're boring. Anyway, switching... It's nonsense.
In this example, we don't see confusion or conflict about the switching. Instead, it's almost treated as if it's a game with her partner. Overt changes in appearance and dress are not characteristic of the patients we treat and see every day. So how do we make sense of people showcasing
appearance and dress?
In their hairstyle, tone of voice, appearance, dress, and role? Tone
of voice, that is... It is implying that we control that. There is no controlling it. I cannot master be Amber. If I pretend to be Amber, I start talking like this, and it's not Amber. I don't know if she'll come and talk to you. I'd prefer not to be honest. What Mia was saying then about switching, it can be weird, actually. I've just come from a little bit behind, so I'm a bit dissociated, catching up on what the hell she's doing. It's basically my life now, anyway, Mia. Right, yeah, so what we were saying.
We know from years of clinical and research work that nearly all patients with DID...
We know from years of clinical and research work in my own facility with my own patients who I've probably cherry-picked and are the ones that fit my model of what DID is.
...are reluctant to discuss their symptoms and tend to feel ashamed and conceal what is happening for them. Times they may...
Tend to feel ashamed and conceal. That's called covert. It's a covert disorder. Like, we got to 37, no idea. No one had a clue. Not our mum, not us, no one.
Times they may not be aware of changes at all that are occurring. Shifts are subtle or completely hidden for most people with DID. So just to emphasize, we rarely see overt or obvious signs of change or switching.
We rarely see overt or obvious signs. Where has he been? Because he's not done his research.
Like depicted in the videos earlier. Content, reminder, flashback, etc. And this symptom of identity alteration is what many media portrayals have sensationalized. People with DID, the ones that we work with, are so afraid of their own thoughts and feelings and memories that they displace them onto a personified aspect of themselves. DID is really about the not me experience.
Yeah.
So,
not me. Well, yeah, I'm not Amber. If we're talking, if she's the me, then yeah, you're right. I'm not Amber.
to do anything for trauma to have not happened to them. And to not have to experience overwhelming trauma-related content so that they can get through their day. Noted, DID is really a disorder of hiddenness, and that's true into adulthood.
It is a disorder of hiddenness until it's suddenly not hidden. And then you can rapidly go from being covert to overt, which is what we did, through thinking we were in a children and a load of chaos. And if we get fake claimed, and I don't know. I mean, do you want to know about the trauma, the abuse? But anyway, no, we're not going there. That'll make me dissociate.
Which is why it's surprising to see people online coming out or celebrating receiving the diagnosis, as is the case in this video.
Surprising to see people online coming out and celebrating receiving the diagnosis. Well, we celebrated. It was traumatic. It was hell. We don't want to have DID, but we have DID and want it fucking acknowledged.
As is the case in this video. So as you can see, not much fear or conflict about receiving the diagnosis, and almost a celebration of being labeled as such.
We got congratulated by people, actually congratulated, say, is this a congratulations thing? And it was like, well, yeah, we fought long and hard to get there, so yeah, it was a congratulations thing. That's how hell it is.
And the recent trend of self-diagnosis and advent of social media representations have continued the legacy of delegitimizing DID.
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. If anything, we're showing the truth, and more people need to show our truth. And if we're right, that it is possibly higher than the old 1 to 3%, we've got to fight back. Please, call to arms. Oh wait, who is that? Astrid?
Hello from Astrid and Darling. We say you are valid. Please don't stop being yourself. Thanks, Mia. Bye.
She got here like that. Magic.
It's true that there's been a general destigmatization of DID online. This is a good thing.
Thank God he said something is a good thing. Something that was actually a good thing is a good thing. Dr. What's his name knows.
The dominant narrative is no longer a skeptical one, and that many of the old skeptical views are just rehearsed stories with old media being recycled and repeated. With greater access to content and information, many individuals may, of course, self-diagnose as having DID accurately based on social media or other content. But of course, the flip side to the pros include that there's a lot of inaccurate information out there, and that most of the time there are gross misrepresentations of DID and inaccurate self-pathologization and inaccurate self-diagnosis.
According to this one man, if you don't think you're faking, you're probably not faking because you'd know about it. So please don't listen to him. Validation Bunny says, that's Val. She says, you're valid.
Just to reiterate, these are not characteristics of people with DID that we see in the patients that we treat.
Yeah, because your treatment seems to be horrific.
Social gain can include receiving special attention or having people be infatuated with you. So
Why is this something that is a problem when it's DID systems? That is basically modern life now, social media.
Thinking about social media and likes, that's very much at play.
Yeah, we want likes. Where else are we going to get dopamine? Because you've told us how terrible our lives are.
Another example of what might be imitated DID includes plurality or multiplicity and so-called endogenic systems. So almost a how-to guide to being plural. And people with DID. When interviewing and assessing patients with genuine DID, they are reluctant and ambivalent about disclosing trauma or their symptoms. And they often appear dissociative or spacey, distracted and inconsistent in their mood and thinking during the interview. With imitated DID, on the other hand, we often see profound identity alteration and switching. Switching is actually quite rare.
This is terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Switching is actually quite rare in the way that it's
Bullshit.
portrayed online.
Switching is not like, we switch hundreds of times a day. Sometimes, a lot of the time, I'm just here being really annoying.
It's portrayed online, and it does not characterize most cases of genuine DID. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of dramatized forms of switching. Right. So in both examples, we see the individuals having an uncharacteristic awareness.
Yeah, because once you become self-aware, you get some control. We can live with this. We can make it work for ourselves. It isn't a death sentence or a shame sentence.
They're describing named parts that they're aware of.
Of course they're describing named parts, because you start to find each other, you start to heal, you start to learn each other.
And the switches we see in genuine DID, when we see them, are subtle, often unnoticed by outside observers. In imitated DID, there's also an emphasis on an elaboration of self states and parts. We see people creating very creative and elaborate examples of their parts. I'll show an example of that in a second. But imitated presentations also typically lack complex comorbid problems that we are, and I share this example to show, again, the very uncharacteristic way that people with imitated DID have awareness of their parts or self states and little conflict or distress about the process of having parts and switching. There was a recent case study that interviewed patients who had not been given the diagnosis of DID, and there were a number of findings, including that they were angry or frustrated about not being labeled as such.
It's not about not being labelled, it's because we know this is our experience and we cannot get help without the diagnosis, which is basically impossible, especially within the NHS and everywhere. It's global, this problem, and this man ain't helping.
That they were relying on the diagnosis for connection and attention in their family and friend groups, things like that. So it's a more recent paper, just reinforcing this notion that there's differences between imitated and genuine DID. So it's incredibly difficult to distinguish between whether these cases are genuine, malingered, factitious, or something else. I can't say from afar, like I said at the beginning.
From afar.
And again, the video examples that I showed today, I don't know anything about them except for what they've put online. I do know that given the increased attention and number of referrals we're getting, that accurate online information and professional education are more important than ever. It's one of the reasons we've been doing these talks.
His professional education.
Just to make people aware. We're deeply concerned about social media representations and self-diagnosis and the way it likely delegitimizes DID for those who actually
I'm deeply concerned about his patients.
Have the diagnosis and work with people. We don't want these representations to undermine the significant research and clinical progress that's been made in the recent years.
I've got question marks over that research and progress that he's been making.
for patients that we see who receive a genuine DID diagnosis, they are not excited about that. They'd actually be relieved if we told them that they didn't have DID.
We got told we don't have DID. We got told we had mixed dissociative conversion disorder. With traits of multiple personality, a load of personality disorders, false memory syndrome, projective identification, a load of other stuff, again, from an old man. And yeah, it was pretty horrific being told that you're... And that's why we fought and got another diagnosis. It's all on the website if you want to see. We've got letters on there. We want to help, but we don't know how.
DID and it was something else. We haven't seen enough, there isn't enough research or clinical evidence to say broadly what people who show up with maybe imitated DID might be looking for or might benefit from.
Just thought I'd change my hair just to demonstrate how we can do that.
I would say, kind of anecdotally from what I've seen and other people I work with have seen, is that it's often neurodiverse youth who are anxious, who...
Neurodiverse youth, that's what we're blaming. Well, we've seen ourselves that there's a few things that seem to go hand in hand with DID. Being trans. We did a little poll. There's only a couple hundred people responded, but 50% of them, over 50% of them had ADHD and
don't have a lot of emotion regulation skills, and having DID, claimed DID, allows them to not take responsibility for certain behaviors and actions. It allows them to withdraw into themselves and avoid feeling anxious and afraid in social situations. It connects with their already creative minds. So there's a lot of benefit for them to having DID, even if we know that that's not likely what's actually going on for them. And there are online TikTok accounts that do provide good information. I probably should have acknowledged that more. There's YouTube...
he probably should have acknowledged that more.
Accounts that do provide good information. So there is a space for that, and we do want people to be talking about and have awareness about DID.
It's not the message I'm getting.
It's about, I think, doing it responsibly, and
responsibly according to his ideas.
For our patients with DID, it's too distressing to have to sift through, like...
His patients with DID, I feel sorry for you all.
We can, like some other people can, to say, that's probably not credible, that is credible.
Who's to say what is or isn't credible? Stop.
They're so anxious, afraid, and overwhelmed at baseline that much online content is just unhelpful. Yeah.
You're unhelpful.
Thank you so much.
So I did cut it out, but I'm going to find the bit where he acknowledges that they did screen this to people and they were told that it's problematic before. So to sum up, it's almost a shame that his facts about DID for the most part seem good. They're relatable to us, they make sense to us, and yet he has done so much damage in a 1 hour bloody presentation that should never ever have been released. It is horrific. Plural Association have a petition going for them to apologise, which we think is important. This needs acknowledging. The poor people that this man used is horrific, and I'm just grateful that I'm not one of them, because I would not be dealing well, and we know that they are not dealing well with it as anyone, let alone the most traumatised people in society. It's really disappointing, but it's put some fire up my ass, I'll tell you that, because I'm not going to be scared no more. I've been scared. I am scared to be myself because I'm not Amber. I can't even pretend to be Amber. And I want to be allowed to live. And I know that a lot of other people do. And I've got Baloo here with me now. She's our trauma holder. She cried for 36 years. You think, this is real, and anyone that tells anyone that their experience is not real, then you need to take a look at yourself. And that includes the doctors that are out there damaging people. Thanks for watching.